A single message written near the end of a man's life changed how millions looked at him forever. Scott Adams, the creator of the famous comic strip Dilbert, was once loved by office workers around the world. His cartoons were taped to cubicle walls, shared in emails, and laughed at during boring meetings. But his life did not end quietly. It ended surrounded by arguments, anger, support, and deep questions. How did a man who made people laugh at work become one of the most talked about and rejected creators of his time? Scott Adams passed away at the age of 68 after fighting a serious illness called metastatic prostate cancer. His death was shared by his ex-wife, Shelley Miles, during a live video, where she read words Scott had written when he knew his time was almost over. Those words were calm, thankful, and full of thought, but his final message was only one part of a much larger story. To understand Scott Adams, it is important to look back many years. Before fame, he was an ordinary man working regular jobs. At one point, he survived being held at gunpoint 2 times while working as a bank teller. Later, he earned a business degree and worked at a phone company called Pacific Bell. During long and boring meetings, he started drawing simple cartoons, and those small drawings slowly grew into something powerful. That something was Dilbert, an office worker with a curly tie and a tired face who dealt with useless meetings, confusing rules, and bosses who had no idea what they were doing. People everywhere saw themselves in him. The comic spread fast and appeared in more than 2,000 newspapers. It became so popular that Dilbert was named one of the most influential characters by Time magazine. Scott Adams won major awards, signed book deals, and even saw his comic turned into an animated television show. Money and fame followed, with toys, office products, and even frozen vegetarian burritos carrying his name. It looked like success would never end, but slowly things began to change. The comics became more angry, and the jokes felt harsher. Scott Adams started speaking more outside his cartoons, and around the year 2015, he began sharing strong political opinions online, especially supporting Donald Trump. He made videos, wrote posts, and talked about culture and power. Some people liked his bold style, while others felt uneasy. Trouble grew larger in the year 2022, when many newspapers stopped publishing Dilbert after a storyline about race caused outrage. Publishers believed the comic went too far, but an even bigger moment came in early 2023, when Scott Adams made shocking comments during a live video. The reaction was fast and severe. Hundreds of newspapers cut ties, his distributor dropped him, and he later said he lost most of his income in only a few days. Instead of stepping back, he pushed forward, saying he was being silenced. He restarted Dilbert on a paid platform and continued his videos. Supporters praised him for speaking freely, while critics said he caused harm, and the divide only grew deeper. Then his health took a terrible turn. Scott Adams revealed that he had aggressive cancer that spread to his bones, causing intense pain and leaving him unable to walk. Later, his hands weakened so badly that he could no longer draw, forcing someone else to illustrate while he wrote ideas. Even while sick, he spoke online about delays in treatment and asked powerful people for help. The help came, but the illness had already advanced too far. In his final messages, he admitted that recovery was unlikely and spoke openly about pain, exhaustion, and knowing the end was close. On New Year's Day, he wrote his final letter, speaking about wanting to be useful, about loving his audience, and about hoping his work added something good to people's lives. Those words were read aloud after his passing, and reactions were mixed. Political leaders praised him, loyal fans mourned him, and others focused on the damage they believed he caused. His life became an example of how fame can lift someone high and then tear everything apart. Scott Adams also battled health problems long before cancer, including disorders that affected his hand and voice, threatening his career many times. He adapted and continued creating, even when his body fought against him. Physically, he kept going, but socially, he struggled to adjust to a changing world. So the question remains how he should be remembered: as the man who helped office workers laugh at daily frustration, as a warning about words without limits, or as a complex person who succeeded, failed, and never stopped pushing boundaries. There is no simple answer, but one thing is certain: Dilbert changed workplace humor forever by giving people a way to laugh at bad bosses, endless meetings, and confusing rules. That impact still exists, even though opinions about its creator remain divided. Scott Adams held on long enough to say goodbye in his own way, thanked those who stayed, shared his final thoughts, and then let go, leaving behind a story that reminds us talent can build great things, words can destroy them, and legacy is never simple.